on Bear News, you've probably been hearing one four-letter word a lot around campus lately. Can you guess what it is?
Well, a few come to mind, but I'm not sure if they're the one you're thinking of.
Well, the word is vote, and it's what you should be doing if you haven't voted for student senate elections yet. We'll explain why voting is so important later.
Our track and field team is beating records and taking names. We'll have more in sports.
This unsettled weather is bringing us more of clouds and wind and less moisture. I'll let you know what's up and when nice weather will continue when we come back. But all that and more on Bear News. Don't go anywhere.
With more than 12,000 students on campus, you may feel like you don't have a voice. But there's one organization at UNC whose mission is to empower and serve as a voice for the student body. Bear News reporter Elizabeth Olivares tells us what this organization is about and how you can get involved.
You may not be aware of how much Student Senate is involved in your college career. It's likely that the events you attend around campus are funded by them, but there's more to Student Senate than just the money.
It's about going out and making positive change and empowering students. I mean, my mission statement is right here. It's to serve and represent students here on campus to enhance their community through the empowerment of all students.
The various positions on Student Senate work together to make that mission statement a reality.
So your student body president is in charge of your academic affairs committee. He really is the person that is motivating all of Student Senate, holding everybody accountable, and he's in charge of doing conference grants as well for different students so that they can afford to go to conferences that are academic and professional in nature. You have your student trustee who represents Student Senate and the student voice at the Board of Trustees meetings, and she also is in charge of the Organizational Funding Board, which gives money out to different clubs and organizations on campus, and she's also in charge of chartering the clubs and organizations that are on campus and going through the paperwork with them. And then you have your director of finance. She's in charge of the SPA process, that's student program allocations. And then we have your director of student affairs, who's in charge of forming things. That's the hiring process, diverse relations, university relations, and your student relations and kind of outreach and marketing.
Beyond funding programs, Student Senate encourages members to attend different cultural events to show support. They also encourage students to stop by their offices and get more involved, maybe even drop off a note in their comment box. Reporting from the Student Senate office, Elizabeth Olivares, Bear News.
If you want to attend a Student Senate meeting, their next one is on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. in the council room at the University Center.
Each year, the Women's Resource Center recognizes women at UNC for their contributions. This year, the center recognized 5 women at our Inspiring Women's Awards ceremony. Marianne Salazar earned this year's Staff Award, while Suzette Youngs took this year's Faculty Award. Amber Lehman earned this year's Undergraduate Student Award, while Vanja Pijek took the Graduate Student Award. And new this year, the Outstanding Mentor Award went to Kim Wilcox. Congratulations to these 5 women for their hard work. You can nominate an inspiring woman on campus by visiting the Women's Resource Center. Websites at www.edu/WRC. Spring is well known in Colorado for being variable and often windy. Weather this year has been no exception, although I could really do without the wind. Let's go to our Bear News meteorologist to see if the wind will calm down tonight or if we should expect another gusty day tomorrow. Colton?
Well, Kayla, the wind's not too bad as long as you just go with the flow. And that's what students are doing outside today. The still image doesn't look too bad. It actually looks really nice. We have the grass greening up, the trees are flowering, but it is pretty gusty outside. So let's look at the current conditions. So right now it's about 52 outside. Wind is about 13 miles per hour from the northeast. This evening will be partly cloudy. Wind might slow down a little bit. And the nighttime low looks to be about 32. I'll be back with your full forecast in a few minutes.
As you may have heard, the Mexican American Studies program at the University of Northern Colorado has been suspended. Although this is true, there have been many rumors circulating around the community. Last night, a committee of professors, students, and alumni gathered to clarify some of those rumors. The mass major has been suspended, but students can still register for a minor. Current mass majors are still able to register and take the necessary courses required to complete the major. And finally, the mass program professors will not be fired, but they have been asked to come up with new curriculum. If you have any questions, you can contact Cynthia Navarez by email at neva4315@bears.unco.edu.
You might not see them, but they're there, patrolling the streets in and around campus 24/7. Bear News reporter Karel Komar sat down with one of those UNC police officers to see what potential dangers students might face and how they can protect themselves.
You may have heard rumors about the infamous UNC tunnel and the dangers you might face walking through such places at night. But one UNC police officer sheds light on just how safe UNC students really are.
Despite all popular belief and myth and rumor and every ridiculous thing I've ever heard, because I've heard them all, it's not a problem area whatsoever. We've actually never had a serious crime reported in that tunnel.
With its own police department and a network of security measures in place, the UNC campus is probably the safest place to be in Greeley.
We patrol every area of campus, so if we can't reach it by car, we often will walk around. We walk through buildings. Any place that's not well lit or kind of off of main sidewalks.
Virtually everywhere you go on campus, you'll see emergency poles with a bright blue light on top and a big red emergency button in the middle.
If there's some type of emergency, you're either witnessing a crime or you're a victim of a crime yourself, you hit the button, you'll actually hear our 911 dispatcher on the radio or come across that on the intercom. They'll ask you what's going on. An officer will respond usually anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds.
For countless reasons, students often venture off campus and away from the safeties it provides, but there are precautions students can take to protect themselves.
Being with people, knowing what's going on around you, walking in well-lit areas, staying on those main stretches of campus is really important.
When all else fails, police officers have a variety of supplementary protective devices. An officer mask recommends students invest in their own portable legal backup plan.
Anything to draw attention to you if something were to happen can be great. If you're using any type of weapon or protective device, know how it works, be confident with it. If you're afraid to have to use it because you don't know what it does or you're not sure what it's going to be like, it's probably not going to be very helpful. I definitely think it's safer to be on campus as much as possible. If it means spending an extra 5 minutes of using a campus route to get to your off-campus house, it's definitely a good idea. And not to say that you're not safe if you're, walking down one of our neighboring streets, but every little thing you can do can go a really long way.
Whether you're grabbing a bite to eat or clubbing downtown, next time you're out and about, remember going through UNC is the safest route. Reporting from the UNC campus, I'm Karel Comer, Bear News.
The UNC Police Department also offers an after-dark escort program where police or security officers can escort you to one side of the campus to the other. To request an escort or to report a crime, call UNC's Police Department at 970-351-2245, or you can visit their office in Gray Hall on Central Campus. UNC will be receiving some very important people next week. Bear News reporter Alex Loya tells us about our guests.
Thanks, Kayla. We are very excited about this. As you may have heard, last September, 43 male students from the Raúl Isidro Burgos Rural Teachers College of Ayotzinapa went missing in Iguala, Mexico. According to reports, police intercepted the buses that the men were traveling in and took them into custody. The students were then handed over by the police to a local drug cartel known as Guerreros Unidos and were presumably killed. 3 of the students, parents, and 1 student from the Rural Teacher College will be coming to UNC to advocate and inform students about the mass murder. There will be 2 different events coming on here in Greeley. The first will be at the University Center, Aspen A, and the second will be at the Barate Center from 6 to 8 p.m.
Thanks, Alex. Coming up after the break, ever thought of becoming an actor or actress? You might change your once you see what our comedy improv troupe has to do.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Many military veterans choose to continue their education after their service is over. As Bear News reporter Kayla Murray tells us, UNC recognizes this and provides veterans with a home away from home for their college transition from combat.
Tucked away in the center of Central Campus is UNC's Veteran Service Center. The University of Northern Colorado maintains a full-time Veteran Service Office. That's for the convenience of our veterans, military members, as well as their dependents.
Cottage is a good place for veterans to come because it allows you to have an environment on campus for veterans to come and feel comfortable. Being a veteran comes with a lot of intricacies, and sometimes veterans just don't feel comfortable in the company of what we would call civilians. My favorite part of the cottage is it's an environment where we can come and kind of be ourselves. A lot of people don't realize this, but veterans during formative years, like most students have in college, where a lot of what they become as adults is formed, they do that in a less congenial environment, I guess I would say.
The amenities in the service center for veterans include a lounge, a kitchen, a study room, student computers, a CAC card reader, free printing, wireless internet, and of course, the helpful and friendly staff. Reporting from Central Campus, I'm Kayla Murray, Bear News.
They're a welcoming organization with a sign on their door that says, "Come on in, we have coffee." So don't be afraid to say hello.
If you check your Bear mail, you'll know that updating UNC's logo is one of this year's priorities. The Bear mascot, acronym, and word mark logo are all in the running to be updated. UNC initially reviewed the logo in 2013 with surveys and focus groups consisting of students, alumni, faculty, staff, and community members. Based on the survey results and the input of the 13-member committees of campus representatives, UNC definitely needed an updated logo. The new logo aims to tie in elements of our academic, athletic, and community-oriented programs. You can be a part of the decision by taking the survey included in your email. Spring in Colorado isn't always a guarantee when it comes to gardening weather. With this week's Pinterest Pick of the Week, we found 10 gardening mosaic projects to brighten up any yard and give it vibrant color. Brought to you by thegardenglove.com, do-it-yourself garden mosaics fit a variety of budgets and materials. You can combine broken tiles, glass, and rocks that you might already find around to create an interesting tapestries for your landscape. The article features several different do-it-yourself projects, including small and large scales or unique decorative creations, great for new homeowners, renters, and anyone looking for a fun project. There's even a how-to directions for embellishing planters. You can use indoor or outdoors to brighten any space. For more information and instructions, visit thegardenglove.com and search Garden Mosaic.
UNC's sketch comedy troupe, Hello, My Name Is, provides students with some much-needed laughs. Sunday's show featured both sketch and improv comedy, like this one called Expert. Two actors asked two other actors questions, but one would say a word and the other would say another word, and the answers have to be given the same way. Another sketch is called Sliced, where the actors compete in a cooking show and have to use weird ingredients. Hello, My Name Is President Desiree Garneau tells us what made Sunday's performance different from the others.
What was different about tonight's show is obviously we had the other comedy group, the student-run comedy group here, which was Chaos, and that is the improv troupe. So what was sort of cool is we mixed everyone up. So the students who normally do improv got to do sketch comedy and write some of it, and the students who usually do improv who usually do sketch comedy got to do improv. So it was a really fun experience and try something new.
Hello, My Name Is puts on a new show every 2 weeks.
Dom and his tight-knit crew are back on the streets again with a Need for Speed in Furious 7. The most recent addition to the Fast and Furious series is an action-packed featuring character appearances from all prequels. But as Bear News reporter Caitlin Sullivan tells us, the film is filled with more than just action.
Cars, explosions, gunfights, and scantily clad women frequent the film throughout Furious 7. The film picks up where Fast and Furious 6 ends, continuing the action-packed movie series. Hobbs, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, calls on Vin Diesel as Dominic and the late Paul Walker as Brian to track down Deckard Shaw off the books. Who plays Shaw? None other than Luke Evans, who is hell-bent on revenge for what Dom and his family of friends did to Shaw's younger brother during the last film in London. The whole gang is back together to face down this adversary, making some new friends along the way. But it's not just in one location. They travel the world on a mission to track down and bring back technology called God's Eye for the U.S. government, and once and for all to handle their ghost-like adversary, Shaw. The film's filled with daredevil stunts, cars falling out of planes, and jumping skyscrapers, as well as countless close calls for all the characters. Rotten Tomatoes scored the film an 83%, while audiences rated it a 90%. This highly rated thrill ride is still in theaters, and the ending pays a beautiful tribute to not only the friendship that Dom and Brian shared throughout the series, but Vin Diesel and Paul Walker have in real life, or during Paul Walker's life. Coming up after the break, Colton will have your weather and 5-day forecast right after this short break. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Bear News. I'm your meteorologist, Colton Grassman. If you look at our current satellite imagery, we see most activity is far to the east, where we have a lot of clouds up here in Nebraska. Now, if we look at our surface, we'll see that's caused by a pretty intense cyclone, a low-pressure system over there. Out of the south of the cyclone, we have this cold front that is descending to the south, and over Colorado, we have some building high pressure, but that's not stopping the wind from blowing. If we go to our next graphic, the surface temperatures actually very well show this low-pressure system as it moves east. There it is right there, the lowest pressure, and you can see where that cold front is. Down to the southeast, we have that warm sector. We have the warm front that's moved up, and all that warm temperature is still right there. But everywhere else, that cold front has moved through, and you see much lower temperatures. Now, if we bring up what the actual temperatures are, we see that Greeley is about at 52 right now, Cheyenne 46, Rapid City 46 as well, all about the similar area. But in that warm sector down there, 82 in St. Louis, and Chicago's even at 70, which is pretty warm for them this time of year. Now, if I go to our next graphic, we'll see how those temperatures compare to recent years. Today, our high is about 53. That's a little below the average, actually 58, but not to the record of 82 we saw in 1977. Our low this morning was 35, a little above average, and that record in 2013 was pretty low at 12 degrees. Sunset is about 7:31 a.m. right now, or sunset at p.m., and sunrise at 6:29 a.m. At our next graphic, we have our highs for tomorrow. Really, we'll get up about to 65, Fort Morgan 67, everywhere in the yellow or in the upper 60s. To the west in the mountains, Steamboat Springs is at about 55, Vail at 50. And now if we go to our 5-day forecast, tomorrow temperatures will improve a little bit more. It'll be mostly sunny. We still could have some breezy times, some gusts that kick up, but high of 65. Saturday gets nicer, the wind calms down. It's mostly sunny, 72. This weekend's looking really nice. Sunday, 68, mostly sunny as well. Monday, we might see a few more clouds, but it stays pretty warm, 70 degrees for our high. and Tuesday 72. There's your weather for the week. Let's go to Stephen for the sports.
Thanks, Colton. Up on the screen now are some sports we weren't able to cover this week. The baseball team lassoed their way to a sweep of the New Mexico State Aggies on the road. In the victory, the Bears bats were on fire, led by Jensen Park, who was named WAC Player of the Week. Also, the softball team were ransacked by the Portland State Vikings as they lost 2 of 3 on the road. We'll have more after the break. Stay tuned. If you'd like to see records broken, Saturday was your day. UNC's track and field team turned in record-shattering performances, and that includes both men and women. The Bears hosted their only home meet of the season at the 2015 Tom Bennett Invite and wasted no time taking advantage of their home turf. Sophomore Susan Manders set a school record in the 400-meter hurdles. She reached the finish line in just 58.4 seconds, earning her a spot at the Big Sky Outdoor Championships. UNC took first and second place in the men's 400-meter dash with conference qualifying times from Alex Wesley and Jerron Medina. The men's 4x1 relay team took first place with a time of 41.61 seconds, barely sneaking past Weber State by a tenth of a second. Sophomore pole vaulter Carly Jeldon set one of the most notable records of the day, breaking her personal record and setting a new school record, clearing the bar at 3.85 meters. Jeldon's record now sits at the second best mark in the conference. The Bears head to California next weekend to compete in the Mount Sac relays, the Bryan Clay Invite, and the Long Beach State Invite. The women's tennis team came into Friday's match at 6-12 on the season. A triumphant 7-0 shutout against Colorado Mesa was just what the Bears needed to keep their spirits high. The girls started off strong, capturing victories at all 6 singles spots and 2 of the 3 doubles, with the third match not finishing. Beth Cotton and Courtney Schultz got their 9th doubles win at the number 1 slot, winning 6-0. Hillary Walters-West and Marissa Vaca got their 8th win of the year, crushing their opponents 6-1. The Bears are back in conference play on April 11th when they head to Idaho State. After defeating Nebraska Omaha 6-1 last Thursday, could the UNC men's tennis team close out their home schedule on a high note against Colorado Mesa? Number 1 doubles Ben Gendron and Austin Mayo started off shaky but quickly found a solid rhythm for threes to the 6-2 win. Number 3 doubles Eric Schumans and Jacob Sheldon played a close battle that saw one huge play after another. Strong serves and great net play helped secure their victory 6-4. As for the singles matches, that didn't end quite so well for the Bears, although number 1, 2, and 3 singles needed 3 sets to decide the winner. Senior Ben Gendron lost in a 3-set match 6-4, 4-6, and 6-3. The Bears' lone singles victory came from freshman Connor Finnerty, who defeated Duncan Alger 6-2, 6-3. The Bears were unable to hold off against Colorado Mesa and lost 4-3. Next up for the Bears, a trip to Pocatello, Idaho, April 18th to face Idaho State. The 2-day Wyoming Cowgirl Classic is over with the UNC women's golf team wrapping up in 18th place. The Bears shot a final round 308 in the 54-hole event. Coach Stephen Bidney said too many bogeys and double bogeys hurt the team, dropping them back a few spots. The women's golf team ends its year at the Big Sky Championships in Chandler, Arizona at the Ocotillo Country Club. Those championships take place April 19th through the 21st. The UNC Bears licked their wounds after an ugly 12-3 outing against a red-hot Air Force baseball club. It all started with the Bears allowing 2 runs on 3 hits with 1 error in the top of the first. The UNC pitchers struggled against the Air Force bats. The coaching staff tried to find the answer through committee using 7 different pitchers in the ballgame. With Air Force pitcher Stephen Trojan striking out a batter in each of his first 4 innings pitched, the team had trouble finding pitches to take advantage of, scoring no runs for the first 6 innings. Finally, in the 7th inning, former WAC Player of the Week Jensen Park reached base on a double to left center. Center fielder Nick Tanner doubled then, and an unearned score on a pass ball brought Park home for the first score. Late in the game, pincher Marco Castilla did his job at the plate, bringing in Tanner on a single to center field, yielding the second run of the inning. Second baseman Cole Maltese brought Castilla home with the Bears' last run of the day with a doubled left center. But the wheels came off for the Bears in the last 3 innings as they allowed another 9 runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. The Bears tried to regroup before they start their 3-game weekend series against Western Athletic Conference for Utah Valley on Friday.
Thanks, Stephen. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you what the Bears are up to when the weather's just right.
Don't go anywhere.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
As we start saying goodbye to the semester, we say hello to warmer weather. Fair News reporter Elizabeth Olivares went out with this week's question of the week.
This week's question of the week is, what is your favorite spring activity?
Probably riding a bike or doing something outside.
I think playing soccer, just outside, just because it's really nice.
Is just playing soccer outside.
Going outside.
Going to the park and just running and having fun with my friends.
I like frisbee golf.
Oh, I like playing disc golf.
I like to play tennis.
Motocross.
Riding bicycles in the park, looking at trees.
Sleeping.
I'd have to say the giant water slide.
Just hanging out with friends at the lake.
I'd say hiking or longboarding around campus.
Hiking.
Hiking in the mountains.
Looks like this springtime I'm going to have to pull out my hiking boots. Reporting from the University Center, I'm Elizabeth Olivares, Fair News.
All right, it seems like everyone's going to take advantage of these Colorado mountains.
I'm hoping to get a little bit of skiing done before spring's over.
Yeah?
Or winter's over.
Get out of Greeley a little bit?
Hopefully.
Well, make sure to comment on our Facebook page, Bear News 98, to suggest next week's question of the week.
And that's all we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us this evening. We'll be back next week.
Until then, stay up to date on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Bear News 98. Be sure to like us.
Have a great week.